So we are back with Chapter 5 of The Mandalorian. We take a trip to a very well-known location in the Star Wars universe. We meet some new characters, and of course, Baby Yoda's up to Baby Yoda stuff. We're talking about that and much more. Chapter 5 of The Mandalorian was titled The Gunslinger and directed by Dave Filoni and also written by Dave Filoni. The Mandalorian helps a rookie bounty hunter who is over his head. What's going on, everybody? Elliot back again with my weekly recap, breakdown, and review of the latest episode of The Mandalorian, and I'm very excited to talk about it with you all today. But before we dive into the spoiler discussion, definitely consider subscribing to my channel. Hit that bell so you can stay up to date with my latest Mandalorian reviews, other TV reviews, movie reviews, and all the fun stuff we do on this very channel. And if and when you've seen this chapter of The Mandalorian, I want to know what you thought about it. Let me know your pros, your cons. Did you like some of the comedy? Did you like some of the characters that came and went? And also, how did you feel about us visiting Tatooine? Let me know in the comments. Let's have some discussions down there. So, again, spoiler discussion here. Let's just jump right into it. Recap. First off, another episode directed by Dave Filoni, who directed the very first episode. And he also wrote this episode, which is the very first episode that wasn't written by Jon Favreau. So, let's break down the episode. We started off with a little space chase. We have another bounty hunter trying to take out Mando and the baby. They have a little battle back and forth. Mando's ship takes a pretty good beating there, but, he stops his ship, takes out the bounty after he has his little one-liner, that's my line, after the guy tells him, I'll take you in cold or hot. So we get that little battle there, and then we land on Tatooine, which, again, as we all know in the Star Wars universe, that is the homeland of many of our favorite heroes and villains there. So we land, we meet this new character. I can't remember her name right now, but she is a ship mechanic, and I've seen the actress before. The Kim Possible or Unbreakable show on Netflix. I remember that character there. Very kind of over the top comedy, and she kind of brings that sensibility in this episode. I really wasn't feeling her character towards the middle end. I got kind of used to her, but at the beginning, I thought that it was a little jarring because some of her comedy was very kid-friendly, which, again, I'm very aware of. The Star Wars universe is a very kid-friendly product. I'm very aware of that. The show has a mixture of comedy, but it gets dark at times, but it's just her comedy at first, and especially that music cue with the kind of comedy, wasn't vibing with it at first, but, anyway, into that scene, we see Mando, lets her he says, I'll get you some money, and I'm good for it. No droids, just fix my ship. But here's my biggest issue with that scene, other than that comedy. We see Mando again leaving Baby Yoda with a complete stranger after knowing there's a bounty on this baby. So it's just crazy, man. He keeps doing this. I don't know, is this a character flaw? Is this meant to be just like something that implies how he was treated as a kid, or it's just like poor writing, in my opinion, that he just leaves this baby with any and everyone that he meets these last two episodes, and particularly, I don't know, I might be nitpicking. Let me know if you all feel the same thing, that Mando just leaves the baby with someone that he just met. But anyway, he does that and goes on into the town, and it was really cool, this episode, in regards to the nostalgia. Again, we're on Tatooine. We go to the cantina where we know Luke, Han, and Obi-Wan Kenobi met in New Hope. We get some pit droids, Tusken Raiders in this episode. So really cool stuff from the Star Wars universe. But we also get that shot of the Stormtroopers' helmets impaled by the spikes. Not much context in that scene. It's a very cool visual, but I hope that they address that, hopefully, because I imagine we're going back to Tatooine after this episode. But very cool visuals. But we see Mando going into the cantina. He tells the droid that he needs work, and one of the bounties overhears him, and that is the character that we meet in this episode, Toro, who is an up-and-coming bounty hunter and is looking to find his way into the guild. So he tells him, hey, I got this bounty on this Fennec character, or this person who's an assassin, who is played by Ming Na Wen, who's a very great actress. I haven't seen too many episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I think she's great in that show, and she's great in a lot of stuff I've seen her in. But we see, he introduces this character to Mando. He's very aware of her, because at first he's like, no, I'm not going to do this. You know who she is. She's has a very long resume and very well known in the universe. So at first, Mando, another decision that Mando, he did this last week. He's just like, no, I'm not going to help you. And then the guy says, please, I need your help. And he says, okay, I'll help you. He did the same thing last week with the people in town. It's just like, all you gotta do is ask him twice and he'll just do it, I guess. But, they decide to take her out. Again, we get more nostalgia within, being on Tatooine. But they decide to go on the ride, and they run into some more characters. Again, we see some Tusken characters, and we have a moment where they finally run into her. They find her. We have a bit of a shootout there, and there's another nostalgia moment there. Mando mentions to Turo that she has the high ground. We all know that that's the same line that Obi-Wan Kenobi used in a Revision of Sith with Anakin Skywalker there. So again, a lot of callbacks to previous episodes and previous movies of Star Wars. So, you know, they decide to wait till nighttime to take the high ground and take her out. They have a little bit of a shootout. You know, they blind her blasters with some you know, weapons that they use to kind of distract her. They finally take advantage of her, or they finally get advantage over her. They take her down, and Mando at first tells Turo to get some ships or get some transportation for they can get her. But, you know, he says, oh, you expect me to give you my ship, this, that, and the other. But they decide to have Mando go get more gear there, and that's where we see Ming's character talking to Turo, and she eventually kind of persuades him to say, hey, the Mando has a much bigger bounty on him than is me. So how about we help each other, take these cuffs off me, we'll take them in. And that's where he takes her out, which I thought that was just such a kind of I was so excited to see her in this universe. And she only gets really like a couple lines, and we get that sequence where she's shooting the sniper. But man, I hope that she's not dead. I assume she is, because again, we'll talk about it at the end. But that really kind of sucks that we introduce this really cool assassin character, but she gets shot by this rookie bounty hunter. I don't know how I feel about that. Let me know what you all think about that. But anyway, as we kind of wrap up the episode, Mando realizes that, you know, she's dead. He goes back to goes back to where his ship is, and that's where we have a little standoff, little standoff there. The kid tells him, you know, I know about your bounty, this, that, and the other, and, you know, Mando takes him out pretty easily. You know, we see the little cute moment with Baby Yoda, and off their way there. But the episode ends with the mysterious character. I assume it's Carlos Esperdino's character who walks up to you know, the Ming's character, but who knows? It could be Boba Fett. Who knows? It'll be interesting that is. But overall, I thought the episode was fine. Actually, I thought it was kind of mediocre. And last week, I know a lot of people said that last week was a filler episode. I didn't feel that necessarily, because at least we got a little background, a little bit more understanding of Mando and, you know, his helmet situation and a little bit of his past. And I felt like that kind of adds more to the character. And you know, we meet, you know, they didn't kill Gina's character last week, which I'm glad, Cara Dune. So we're going to get her back, I imagine, later this season. But again, I thought this episode, again, introducing two new characters that they just take out in this episode. The comedy really didn't work for me. It was cool to be on Tatooine, and some of the cool action sequences there, and the nostalgia is obviously cool. But overall, I really felt like this episode was for sure a filler, because this really didn't move the story forward, at least in my opinion, at all. We didn't learn anything new. We met two characters that just died by the end of the episode. So this episode, to me, again, very small, you know, 30-minute episodes. We only got, you know, 4 or 5 episodes left. I really felt that this episode was just kind of just mediocre at best. And that's just my opinion. But I would love to know what you all thought of it. Did you enjoy it a lot more than I did? Do you have an idea who that character was at the end of the episode? Did you like the comedy? Did you like the callbacks to some of our previous movies? Again, visiting Tatooine, visiting the cantina, seeing some of the Tusken Raiders, things of that nature. Let me know what you all thought of the episode in the comments below. Like and share this video. Make sure you're hitting that bell so you can stay up to date with my content, and subscribe to my channel, of course, and follow us on all of our social media accounts. It's definitely a big day for a lot of content dropping on Apple TV Plus, as well as we got a new movie on Netflix, so I'll definitely be reviewing that content here this weekend. Thank you all again for watching this review. I'll see you next week for the next chapter, the next episode. Again, thank you for watching this review, and we'll see you in the next video.